In this Elder Scrolls Online video, we're going to be covering the new item sets that are coming with the Elsweyr expansion in May and June. We're not going to be going into these very heavily in this video, and this is not going to replace the set guides that I will do for these sets, but it is just kind of a preview of what's to come with the new sets. We'll jump into the Overland sets first, then we'll get into the crafted ones, and then the trial sets. And the first Overland set is the Crafty Alfiq, which is a light armor set that gives max magicka for all of its bonuses. This is essentially a counterpart to the Draugr set, which does the same thing for stamina, and this set's going to be pretty decent. I imagine some people will play it. The downside is that now, because of the racial passives that don't increase maximum magicka or maximum stamina, this set is going to be not as effective as the Draugr was during its heyday. In addition, maximum magicka used to affect the effectiveness of damage shields on Sorks and anyone using annulment, and now that is no longer the case as well. So I'm not sure who's going to be using this set. It's a decent set, but it's not going to be particularly amazing. The medium Overland set is Vesture of Darlock Bray, and the first thing you'll notice is the 2-piece bonus is magicka recovery. That seems wildly not appropriate for a stealthy set. I expect that to be changed to something else, but we'll see. The 5-piece bonus is curious for PvP. It restores magicka, stamina, and health when you're crouched, which has serious implications in PvP, particularly in Cyril. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I expect definitely some people to be running this set. Although I don't know how many. The downside currently is that the 2, 3, and 4-piece bonuses just aren't that good, and I don't think the 5-piece bonus is going to justify that, so I expect this set to be switched around a bit before launch. The heavy armor set for Overland is Call of the Undertaker, and you can see it's all about healing. It has healing taken and healing done, and applies minor lifesteal to an enemy, healing you and allies that attack it every 1 second. The minor lifesteal from the 5-piece bonus is particularly intriguing. I could see some tanks running this to help heal, particularly in trials where a lot of people are hitting on the same boss. Maybe trial groups will have their off-tank running this, constantly putting the debuff on one boss that they're hitting. I definitely think this will see some use in some situations. The first crafted set in Elsweyr is called Sentrat's Grit, and it adds healing done, max health, healing taken, and after being damaged by an damage over time ability, increases your healing received by 6%, and your physical and spell resistance by 2,585. This is a very weak set. I expect just about no one to run this one. The next crafted set is Vestare's Tutelage. This has stat bonuses to stamina, health, magicka recovery, and stamina recovery, and it gives you weapon and spell damage to you and your ally, and 10% cost reduction when resurrecting. This is a weird set because it's not going to be very meta anywhere. The only place I can really see it being used is in Cyrodiil PvP, maybe on Templars who have fast reses, resing people and buffing in large battles, but the problem is you never want a set to be defined by resurrecting based on failure. You always want to plan for success. So I don't know who's going to use this set. The 2, 3, 4 and the 2 other 5-piece bonuses are really good, so it'll be curious to see if people can come up with something that actually works based on those set bonuses, but I just don't know. The last crafted set is Cold Harbor's Favorite, and this is another weird one. It has max magicka, max stamina, spell damage, and weapon damage, and either summons a noble mount to heal you and your allies, or to damage enemies, and I don't see how this is going to be meta in any possible way, because if you're healing all the time, then Caldwell's Noble Mount is going to be summoned all the time, which is fine. But then you don't want max stamina and weapon damage for your bonuses. And if you're DPSing, then you're going to be doing the magic damage over time. And in that scenario, again, you don't want a mixed stat spread. So the stats of the 2, 3, 4-piece bonuses are probably what's going to keep people from using this set. Otherwise, it seems really interesting. In PvP, you're healing yourself constantly all the time, so I'm not sure that it wouldn't be anything more than just a big burst heal. I don't think it would see a lot of play in damage, or at least not very often. As far as trial sets go in Elsweyr, the DPS, the light DPS version is False God's Devotion, and for all intents and purposes, this is exactly the same as Vicious Serpent. It's just the magicka of equivalent of it, so it's not very imaginative, but it is a very, very good set. The only difference between it and the perfected version is that the perfected version adds another bonus of max magicka, making it even more powerful than the Vicious Serpent equivalent, so I strongly suspect players will be seeking out this set. Tooth of Locustides is the medium DPS version, and its 5-piece bonus allows you to gain Major Slayer for 15 seconds when you activate a synergy. This is a very good ability. I don't know if it's going to replace the meta or not. It seems like it's about the same, give or take, as any other set. I mean, I haven't done all the testing, but it doesn't seem very amazing, and frankly, I don't know if people would go through all the trouble to farm it or not. The perfected version of it adds more weapon critical, and that's the only difference. The healing set is called Eye of Navintus, and this one's interesting because it gives resource reduction to non-ultimate abilities when people use your synergies, which is all about what healers are really about, supporting. They don't really need added healing. Supporting in order to speed up DPS of their group is usually what they're trying to do. This is a great way to do that. I can absolutely see people replacing Wormcold or something like that with this set, depending on how hard it is to get. The perfected version just adds another Max Magicka bonus, so it's a little more powerful. The tank set for the Trial Sunspire is called Claw of Yul Na Karin, and it's really good. It makes it so when you taunt an enemy, you give 11 group members Minor Courage, increasing their weapon and spell damage by 129 every 8 seconds, apparently. So every time you taunt, you're going to be refreshing this ability effectively. And tanks, just like healers, are all about supporting their group. And because this affects 11 group members, you're probably going to see one tank run this while the other tank runs something like Eben, and you're going to have a lot of group buffs between, the healers and the tanks, and I fully expect at least one tank to be running this. The perfected version adds a bonus of max health, giving you a little more survivability. So the final verdict is, looking over these sets, there are some intriguing ones. For instance, the Vesture of Darlock Bray with crouching. I don't know how that'll play out in PvP. The new tank set for the Trials is very good, but otherwise, it's a very lackluster crop of sets. The healing one also looks very good for the Trials, but these are very unimaginative. I think ZeniMax, frankly, is just running out of ideas for sets, because if you look at them, a lot of these are just duplicates of their Stamina or Magicka counterparts, and, they can only do so many procs, and so I honestly wonder what's going to happen in the future with sets, because I feel like they're getting to the bottom of the barrel with what they can do, and they really may need to invent a new statistic or new mechanic in order to justify more sets. As I mentioned at the beginning of the video, this does not replace our in-depth set guides that we do each set individually, so look for those. We'll be covering those over the next few weeks, running up until the launch and probably a little bit after, where we really dive into each set and see how we can use it. Sometimes things don't really look that amazing on the surface, and you find you can do some creative things when you fuck around with them a bit, so we'll definitely dive into them, play around with them, see if we can come up with something interesting, and share with you guys, so stay tuned for that.